everyone, it's Diana Palm, the Love Witch, and today I'm going to talk to you about how an empath feels death. And I think this is a really, really important topic because so many of the people that I know are extremely empathic. For those of you who don't know what that is, that means we literally absorb other people's feelings. It's as if there's no buffer between us and another person. Whatever they're thinking and feeling, we're absorbing into our body. We're thinking their thoughts, we're feeling their feelings. If a person near us is upset, or even if we're thinking about a person that's at a distance and we know that they're upset, it's highly likely that we will absorb their feelings. And that's why I talk about protecting your energy all the time. It's very important to know some techniques that you can use to separate yourself, to clarify to yourself that what you're feeling and experiencing is not yours. It belongs to somebody else. I'm really good at protecting my spiritual energy, knowing what belongs to me and someone else, but I too can experience some surprise empathy when my vibration is suffering. When I'm going through something very emotional, or my loved ones are as a collective, I can be very impacted by their emotions. Of course, in my spiritual work, I'm always very aware and conscientious about being protected. But when it comes time to connect with close loved ones or family members, sometimes I forget. And that's what happened to me when my dad was suffering in the hospital. I was actually absorbing his pain in his body. And I wasn't the only one in my family. There were a couple other empathic people, and we were all experiencing it in different ways. I thought it was important to make this video and to share my experiences, and also what you can do to be really aware of it, what you can do to protect yourself, how you might be experiencing it, and how you can kind of clear that off so you can get back into your own energy and vibration. Before my dad passed, he was in the hospital with COVID for quite a long time. And because of the oxygen machines, he was isolated. I had asked, if we could send texts, but they're like, no, he can't see his phone with the big mask on, and I don't think he had his glasses. So I asked if we could call, and again, that wasn't the best option because his big machine was too loud and it was difficult for him to take calls. So what we ended up doing as a family was sending pictures that one of my sisters could tape on the wall around him, and at least he could visually see family. But I think that was the hardest part for him, that isolation, not being connected. And many of your own loved ones may have experienced that as well. Because I desired to reach out to my dad to give him comfort, and I was unable to make contact with him either verbally or through letters, email, or text, my energy unintentionally went out to him. And because of that, I actually absorbed a lot of the pain that he was going through. During this time, I was literally feeling my dad's feelings. I could feel all his different range of emotions, but I could also feel the physical pain in his body. At first, I thought maybe I was just feeling this way because of my worry and concern about him, my mother, and the rest of the family that was traveling back and forth to try to help. But actually, it became crystal clear that it was just his pain on the one night when I literally became paralyzed. It was extremely painful, and there was no rhyme or reason for me to have a physical ailment. This is when I knew that I was really absorbing too much for my dad, and I had to sever that empathic link for my own well-being. Now, if you're empathic, it's entirely normal for you to have your own feelings about something going on in the family, but then be aware you're also absorbing everybody else's feelings on top of it. So this is why it's going to be really, really important for you to do some spiritual cleansing, to get outside and hike in nature, do some things to ground you and keep your energy clear. You may even want to separate yourself from other people at this time to really ground your own energy and kind of make that physical distance and that space so you can get back in alignment with yourself. When you're an empath, you have to take extra care of your energy and what you're around, what you're absorbing, what you're feeling, what you're looking at, and what you're paying attention to. Because we couldn't have verbal connection with my dad, I was connecting with him empathically and feeling his feelings, thinking his thoughts, having great awareness of his decline in health, and feeling that within my body. The one night that it got so bad, I was watching TV, and when I got up, I had extreme pain down my back. It was like nerve pain that shot down both of my legs. It started actually on one side and within about an hour moved to the other side. It was very, very painful. I could barely move. So I went to bed, and while I was laying in bed that night, lost the ability to move both of my legs. In fact, it was even difficult to move my upper arms because there was so much pain in my back and down both legs. I remember trying to leverage my body and try to use my body weight to move and get covered up because I was a little cold that night. And it was really difficult to move. I mean, extremely difficult. I felt entirely paralyzed. That was when I knew this is not mine. This is the first time I've ever empathed something to this extreme. And I knew it wasn't mine. And this is when I began commanding it out of my body. I asked God to take it from me. I said out loud, this is not mine. I command this to leave my body and go up to Creator now, to be transmuted. This is not mine. I command my body back. I command my own energy back. I did a separation of energy. I was clearing my chakras. I was cutting hooks and cords. I was connecting spiritually and clearing all other energies, attachments, anything that was not my highest and best, and commanding that to go. And thankfully, when I woke up in the next morning, while still very sensitive, I was able to roll, get out of bed. And once I started walking around, realized, okay, it's out of my body. I'm feeling back to normal, and I actually wanted to really solidify being healthy and active and feeling good in my body again. So I ended up going for a huge hike out in the desert. And that really helped me reaffirm to myself that I was healthy. It was almost as if I had to convince my energy that my body truly was healthy and that I was back in my own space. So if this happens to you, I would recommend that. You will want to command it out of your body. And don't send it anywhere else. Don't send it back to sender. Just send it directly up to Creator or Source or whoever your higher power is. And be very mindful about what is actually yours. Some other things you can do is an energy break. You can put your hands together down here in your solar plexus, rubbing them together, turning them, and then giving them their energy back. You can do that. You can also seal off your chakras to make sure you're better protected when you're moving into a new space, or if you feel that somebody's kind of infringing upon your energy and you begin to feel them. Both of those things should really be like a quick reset for you. So I would try that. Some other things to be mindful of is that it's okay for you to have conscious awareness of what is going on with your loved one without having to feel it or take it on. And I think that that's really, really important to know, because empaths naturally take it on. One of the things that you should do moving forward, just tell yourself, God, if you want me to know what's going on with them, tell me what's going on without making me feel it. And that way, as an empath, you can experience death in a more healthy way for yourself, so you don't have to go through those little deaths each time you lose a loved one. If you're an empath and you become aware that somebody that you love is suffering, traumatized, or going through physical pain or suffering of any kind, as soon as you become aware of it, you can begin to project your love outward. If you start pushing pure love in their direction, that will ease their emotions and bring them some physical relief from the pain that they're experiencing. And that way it'll also protect you from continuing to absorb them and impact them into yourself. So as soon as you become aware, start pushing that love, directing it at exactly who you're feeling. And that will help them as well as yourself. If you're an empath and you've ever empathed somebody else's death, let me know down in the comments how you were affected and what you did to clear your energy and make sure that you were protected again. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like down below, subscribe, and share it with your friends.